Let's call it to order, and would you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The clerk take the roll, please.
Mayor Bro?
Here.
District 1 Morstead?
Here.
2 O'Connell?
Here.
3 Rademacher?
Here.
4 Weiland?
Here.
5 O'Malley?
Here.
6 Burchell?
Here. At this point in our agenda, we take comments and suggestions from citizens present. Is there anybody that would like to address the council on any subject not on the agenda? Yes, sir.
Mr. Mayor and Councilman and Councilwoman, my name is Larry Wendland. I reside at 1015 2nd Street. I'm here on behalf of the residents of Croyview Apartments, which is senior housing and disabled housing. We have a little problem with our egress getting out on the street. As you know, we have to go out on Highway 35 in order to get out of our building. And our visibility there, because of the parking, our visibility is very, very poor. And that highway, I don't believe, was ever designed to carry all the traffic that it's carrying right now. We have traffic just wall to wall all day long. And I understand that the people that use that highway need to get to work. They're trying to get over to the interstate, and they're usually in a hurry. Consequently, sometimes they might exceed the speed limit just somewhat. And when we go out of our building, the grade is such that it's so high or so steep, we have to go out at an angle. And it causes a great problem because most of the time we have to hesitate halfway through. And meanwhile, people are bearing down on us and our visibility is bad. We have a severe problem. We have accidents just waiting to happen. I understand that this has been looked at before, and it's a recurring problem the way I've heard it. But we would petition the City Council to maybe take a look at this and see what they could do to help us. Our parking lot is too high for one thing, and the sidewalk is probably too high. It needs to be maybe a little bit of the sidewalk taken out and lowered some, and the grade needs to be more gradual out to the highway. At one time, I understand they put some asphalt in there, and it helped somewhat, but they didn't put enough, and they were concerned about water buildup there not draining. And according to our maintenance man, they could have put quite a bit more there because the water was not a problem. But anything that you could do for us or put it on the agenda or discuss it, we would certainly appreciate it. Thank you.
We'll probably turn that over to Public Works to have them take a look at it, and also the Safety Committee. Okay. Anyone else? Laura.
Yes, I'd like to mention also that the speed through there is unreal, and somebody's going to get killed. And I know they got a caution light on St. Croix, but in the morning it's really bad. And if they could do something on the speed through there, that would help. If we could get a light in there to stop the traffic, and before they, so maybe we also got, I talked to Kitty, and she suggested to also talk to DOT, and Larry's going to contact the DOT on that because it is a state highway. But maybe in the meantime they could do something about the speed, and I was going to talk to Marty and see what they could do on that. So
okay.
That's all.
Thank you. Anyone else? Chief. Now we're going to have a commercial.
I'd like to invite everyone to our annual the fire department's annual pancake breakfast this Sunday. We're serving from 7:30 a.m. till noon. The fire trucks will be on display. The firefighters will be there. The queen candidates or the queens will be there, and their royalty will be there to help us. It's usually a good time. The kids really enjoy themselves. So I'd invite everybody to come and visit us. It's a free will offering. And get your breakfast.
Lions are putting it on again?
and they're assisting us.
Yeah, very good.
Which day again, Chief?
Sunday,
Sunday.
April 13th.
Hope everybody here in the group and also on TV will attend.
I'd like to mention that the kids do get to go into the fire trucks, and they can drive them without moving them as much as they want.
Very good. Anyone else? Well, we're going to, before we start the regular meeting, I've got a couple presentations to give. And the first one is for Paul Rademacher. If I get it out of here.
Medically sealed.
Yes. Wow. Solid walnut, by the way. And grateful recognition of your outstanding efforts as alderperson in District 3, City of Hudson, and your contributions as a member of the Finance Committee, the Park Board, Public Safety Committee, and the St. Croix EMS Commission from April 20th, 2004 to April 7th, 2008. Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Really appreciate everything that you've done for the city.
Thank you, Mayor. I also want to thank, obviously, the members of District 3 it's been an honor and a privilege to serve you for the last 4 years. And I want to thank everybody here. It's been a privilege to work with you. And I see Michael Atchis here and Roger Riedel and Kara Cook were some of the other council members that I worked with. And Debbie Andrews and we have so many great people here at the City Hall that work for the city. Can't mention everybody, Denny, Nancy, Betty, you could go on and on, but it's been an honor and a privilege and a lot of fun and a challenging time. So
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Dennis O'Connell.
I forgot to mention Devin and Catherine.
Here we go.
They squealed over
Again,
there. So
grateful recognition of your outstanding efforts as alderperson in District 2, City of Hudson, and your contributions on the Finance Committee, Public Works Committee, Public Safety, and the Hudson Area Joint Library Board from October 14, 2002 to April 7, 2008. I want to thank you for all you've done for the city and all your contributions, and especially your dedication.
Thank you. I'd like to pretty much say what Paul said. Thanks to the residents of District 2 and also everybody in the city of Hudson and the staff, Jan and Betty.
Great. Thank you. Is Eric Atkinson here? Eric, come on up here. On behalf of the Common Council, the city staff, and the citizens of Hudson, we want to express our gratitude for your service to the city of Hudson as the interim police chief. You're a gentleman. You certainly did a lot to bring us forward. And I appreciate everything you've done.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
I'd like to have you have this letter from myself, the city council, and I know you'll continue to do a great job.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Mr. Mayor, and thank you to the council. Appreciate all the help and the effort that you put into your job.
Well, you brought us through a very, very difficult time, and I thank you for the dedication and the job that you did.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Thanks again.
We now move on to the consent agenda items, Madam Clerk will verbalize those for us.
To approve the regular meeting minutes of March 17th, 2008, and the special meeting minutes of March 25th, 2008. To approve claims for payment in the amount of $638,703.63. A detailed description is available in the clerk's office on request. To approve the update to Chapter 10 of the City Employee Handbook regarding travel and meetings as submitted. To place on file the quarterly report of the Parks Department and the Community Access Board minutes of March 25th, 2008. That is all.
What is your pleasure on the consent?
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Morset?
Yes.
O'Malley?
Yes.
Wyland?
Yes.
Burchell?
Yes.
Rademacher?
yes.
O'Connell?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Let's go to Finance Committee, application for operators licenses. Recommendation from Finance is to approve all of the applications for operators' licenses. I need a motion to that effect.
So moved.
Mr. Chairman, I recuse myself.
Is there a second? Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Application to Hudson Hockey Association for temporary Class B retailers license to sell beer 423 to 427 at a pool tournament, 1820 Hanley Road. Recommendation is for approval from Finance.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion or comments? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. And number 5, the use of the contingency funds to purchase a replacement Opticom controllers. Recommendation is for that approval.
So moved.
Second.
Can we just get a description of Opticon controllers for the audience?
Well, these are the controllers that are on all the lights, and are controlled by police department, fire department, ambulance, and their advance action changes the lights so that they can move ahead at intersections. Mm-hmm. And 2 of them were out, and I think they wanted to have a couple more for use in case another one goes out. And the expenditure was, I believe, $4,000, right?
$4,950.
$4,900, yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Let's go to public safety. No parking issues on St. Croix Street near 3rd Street intersection. Paul?
Yes, we visited this last meeting or the meeting before, and agreed to put some temporary no parking signs up on the corner of 3rd and St. Croix Street. The residents in the area are complaining about the signs. We visited this again at the public safety meeting this a couple of weeks ago, and decided to recommend that we, when the snow is removed, which is now, and are able to paint when things warm up a little bit, just to extend the yellow line curbing back a little bit more, and then also to put the signs back up next winter on a temporary basis, just to remind folks again not to park near the corner. So we thought that'd be a little better solution. Just give that a try. The residents would be a lot happier in the area, and maybe that'll solve everybody's problem. So the motion is to accept the public safety recommendation just to extend the yellow paint on the curb and erect temporary no parking signs next winter at this location.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Approve the Locust Street Classic Car Shows. Paul?
This is an annual event. Mr. Kanoki is in the audience. If you'd like to say something, you don't have to. Okay. Same as the last 3 or 4 years. It's been a great event. It's held between, I believe, May and September, second Friday of every month, and they do a great job cleaning up. Have a lot of cars that come in, and people come and look at the old cars. And so the recommendation from Public Safety is to approve the Locust Street Classic Car Show, and I'll make that motion.
Second.
I'd like Mr. Kanoki to come and talk about it. I'm sure he will. But.
Well, I think that's a great celebration, and if you'd like to give us a little more detail on it, you're more than welcome.
It's a little commercial message for you.
All right.
Really had to pull you out on that one, didn't we?
Again, it's the 4th year we've done it, and it has gone well.
Great.
And it really hasn't gone off any hitches. Carboni's helps me, and the Masonic Lodge has been helping out too. They've been opening up their doors and doing like a hot dog brat stand inside there. So we're kind of just all Locust Street people, and the cleanup's been easy. The city's been great bringing the dumpsters or the garbage cans and the street barricades. So there's no problem. We like it, and the nicest thing, it hasn't got out of control, which was one of our fear was to get too big. It's always been 40, 50 cars, and it's just the right amount.
Great event.
So I appreciate the city helping out, and it's been great.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Let's get on to new business. Approval for all hazards mitigation plan, resolution number 4-08.
Move to suspend the rules.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
Move to adopt. Oh, I'm sorry, Paul, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Move to approve resolution number 4-08.
Second.
Any discussion or comments?
Very happy to see that approval of this resolution puts us in line for implementation of possible grant funding.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Application of Big Blues Festival, LLC, for special event permit for an event in Lakefront Park. We have somebody that's going to speak to that. Hello. Please come up and identify yourself. And
my name is Chris Johnson. I live on Spruce Drive up in Jacobson's Woods. Last year, we held a one-day event at Clifton Hollow Golf Club. We didn't approach the city or consider using Lakefront Park at that time because of the policy requiring events to be free and open to the public. This year, we have made plans to use the Washington County Fairgrounds, but we won't have an answer to the capacity and noise restrictions there until the end of April. So in the meantime, or if Washington County is too restrictive, we would like to approach the city on allowing us to do a ticketed event. If not, we would like to then proceed or consider doing an event that is open to the public. I think there's many reasons why it is more beneficial to do it as a ticketed event. I think that controls the capacity, much safer sanitation and planning for the event, and much easier to control. In my opinion, the funding of such an event by tickets makes much more sense than approaching sponsors or gathering money that way, or trying to pay for it through concessions or other sales. In fairness, it's my understanding that there have been admissioned events down at the park before. If that's been the case, and we would just like to have that same kind of consideration for what we're planning. And again, if a ticket event isn't possible, we still would like to proceed with the application and do something under the rules as they are currently.
Madam Councilor, would you like to tell Mr. Johnson about the existing ordinance as it relates to...
We have given him a copy of the ordinance, which does prohibit ticketed events, basically. The policy behind that, when the council adopted that, was that this is a public park and paid for by taxpayers and should be free and open to the public for their use. That ordinance was adopted in 2006, so it was a change from previous requirements. I don't know if organizations have not been following it, but the intent has been to go with this policy and this rule. It's up to the council to decide whether you want to make an exception. The large assembly ordinance does allow for adjustments. However, you need to think about how that will play out in the future and precedent-setting type decisions, all those considerations. So right now, the ordinance does not allow restricting access based on tickets.
May I ask a question, Mr. Johnson? Mr. Johnson, you provided us with the letter that you had written on behalf of the festival. It does not state, however, the date that you would like to hold the festival. There are no festival dates.
It's on the application. It's July 18th to the 20th, Friday.
Okay, sorry, the application was not in our packet. So
I provided it 18th to the 20th, Friday the 18th, and the hours are 11 in the morning until 9:30 p.m. each day, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Okay, so we have two mutually exclusive applications for the same weekend here.
One ticketed, one not.
Well, I did underline that you are, Baytown Township is contesting because they say you are non-conforming to the conditional use permit.
We're having there is a application in to modify the conditional use permit. It has not been approved, or that's up for approval on April 28th with Washington County.
And you understand from what Catherine just said, you have the same situation here, that you're not in compliance here either, if you ticket. I'm
asking that you allow a ticketed event, and if you won't consider that, then we will do a non-ticketed event. My application, I'd like to proceed with under your current rules if they won't be changed.
Could I ask for some guidance from our counselor?
Right.
Catherine, we don't have before us an actual application for this event or any event.
Well,
we do have paperwork for 2 mutually exclusive events. Since we don't have applications for us to approve or disapprove, are you looking for us to just give some guidance tonight?
Well, yeah, the idea was his event will have to go through the special event process. And rather than, at the time, he didn't inform the city that he would be willing to do a non-ticketed event. So the thought was, well, why put it through all the committees if the council simply does not want to adjust? It's only the council that can provide, adjust or waive that requirement or prohibition of ticketed events. So that issue was, we decided it'd be good to bring forth to the council to get a decision on that. Then it would, if the council said, yeah, we'll consider it, then it would have to go through the committees under the special event process. At that time, we didn't know there was a conflict. So he has submitted an application. The application talks about a ticketed event. My understanding is that the FIPS has also submitted an application to the Parks Department to use Lakefront Park on the 19th, 20th?
19th. The 25th anniversary.
My understanding is their attendance and participation is expected to be less than the 1,000 number that's puts you into the special event.
How many people did you anticipate would be attending this, Mr. Johnson?
Last year we had 300 attend, and it was a very rainy day, so I think that affected the attendance. This year our goal is to sell 1,000 tickets and to have attendance of 1,000 or something less than that. If it were to become a non-ticketed event, I have no idea, and we'd have to go through planning and figure out what the attendance could rise up to. You allow 45 bands for free, open to the public. I'm assuming it would be well attended and significantly larger. Again, speaking to control and safety and best use of the park and the city, it's my request or advice that I think a ticketed event is a good use. It is a good draw to the city. So far, we've sold 200 tickets. We've sold 100 to people within the Twin Cities and the Hudson area. 100 tickets have been sold to 6 countries and 26 states. This is a very unique event. It's a collection of blues artists that are not typically mainstream, aren't invited to the regular blues fest. These are performers that generally travel the country playing in smaller clubs. It's we've got a website. I don't know if any of you have taken the time to look at the bands, but it's very well received by the people that attended it last year. They encouraged us to do it again this year. It's we have bands coming from England, Italy, Canada, the United States. Of the 45 bands, I think they covered 20 states across the country. It's a very unique event, a very special event, and one way or another we're going to have it, but we're looking for the best venue, the best possible circumstances to have this. I think Lakefront Park would be a beautiful spot to do that. It would bring great recognition to the city, and I'm sure it would be well received by the merchants and the townspeople. Particularly ending it at 9:30 p.m. would allow those people to enjoy the dining and the community. I know several of the area hotels have already booked many of these out-of-town visitors, and they'll be coming in for this. So, again, my request, if you would raise the motion to allow this particular ticketed event, that's my request. If not, we will still proceed with the application as a non-ticketed.
Well, I think that we're going to have to get some details on your application and the approaches for each one, ticketed and non-ticketed, and the number of people that would be attending that, and also some details on what kind of involvement the city and the park board would be involved with. Okay?
Does it have to be that weekend?
I have 45 bands contracted. We've got a budget of about $60,000. Insurance has been purchased. The wheels are in motion. It will be this weekend. And
that is if you don't have it over on the other side, right?
Yes.
Right now, it's very likely we'll get approval from Washington County.
Yeah.
But in the event that that does not occur,
this is your backup.
This is my backup plan, absolutely.
Okay. Well, I think we should be, in all fairness to you, Mr. Johnson, we should give you the guidance that you came here to ask for. And so I will make a motion that we stay with our existing ordinance and not give a waiver for selling tickets for, and it has nothing to do with your event, for any event. So I'll make that as a motion just to answer your question as to whether or not we would allow selling tickets.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion?
Well, my question is, can't we look at both, I guess what the motion, but can't we look at both events? Again, a ticketed and a non-ticketed event, decide what makes sense? I know we have something else on the agenda tonight, but...
Well, we haven't in the past allowed any ticketing, Al, and I think if you open that door, you're going to get...
Booster days charge a gate admission?
Not after we pass the ordinance in 2006, is my understanding. And they won't be doing it this year either. So if you do open that door, then you've got precedents for always, or in a lot of instances, okaying ticketed events. And the next one might be at the dog track or down in the park or whatever. And I think that our large assembly ordinance was part of this whole situation to kind of keep the people in attendance for these special events to a minimum.
Well, the city taxpayers pay for this park,
right,
and we cannot prohibit a taxpayer from being present in the park that they pay for by insisting they buy a ticket to be in their own park. That's why, and we had much long discussion about this when we crafted the ordinance a couple of years ago. That was the reasoning behind it, and I think the reasoning is sound.
I think we have to continue to be consistent. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Let's go to application and request of the Phipps Center for the Arts to use the Lakefront Park on Saturday, July 19, 2008. Phipps 25th anniversary event, 10 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. John, you want to...
Sorry, is my application rejected altogether?
Yes.
And my non-refundable deposit and...
Well, your application was for a ticketed event.
Yeah.
There was no indication, at least to me in our email correspondence, that you wanted the city to consider both. You're welcome.
Well, in our phone call where we discussed several different scenarios that may occur, one of which was proceeding as a non-ticketed event.
Well, that's not what the application says. And the fact is there's a conflict here. Two entities can't use the park at the same time.
But, Madam Council, we just made a motion and a second, and we all agreed not to okay any ticketed event.
Correct.
Right?
He's saying he'd like to submit an application now for a non-ticketed event.
He's saying, will he get his money back for that application?
I'm saying that the application I made was also for a non-ticketed event, and apparently that won't be considered.
The one for the ticketed has not been considered.
Right.
And there is no application in there for a non-ticketed event.
That's how you read my application.
But you will get
That's all that was presented on the application was a ticketed event.
But take a look at that, Mr. Johnson.
I will.
Okay. John, you want to tell us about the Saturday event?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the Common Council. You should have received a one-page description of the event that we are requesting the use of Lakefront Park for. Let me also preface my remarks by saying that it was the center staff understanding that the use of the park for Saturday, July 19 was secured before we went ahead with these, before we went ahead with our planning. Obviously, that was a misunderstanding. But at this time, we would like to request the use of the park for Saturday, July 19 for a community-built parade and celebratory event for the FIP's 25th anniversary. This would be free and open to the public. It would involve participants and performers of all ages from throughout the St. Croix Valley. We anticipate representatives from St. Croix Falls, Stillwater, River Falls, and Hammond, at the very least, to be joining our celebration. We will be creating theatrical costumes, masks, props, puppets, and instruments in workshops led by area artists and others trained by Christopher Lutter Gardella. Lutter Gardella is a Bush Fellow who has been so honored by his work in the last 10 years, nationally recognized, by turning trash into art. So the workshops will be eco-conscious, and we will endeavor to show folks how we can take things from the dumpster and turn them into works of beauty, or at the very least, interest. I'm just going to show you a couple of examples of the sort of work that Lutter Gardella does. In this case, it's a wolf. You can see the dimensions. There's two people operating it, and there you have an idea of how it was built. Here's another one of an elephant using discarded screen, and there again you can see multiple operators. So that's the scale that he works on, but then there's also the ability to replicate designs and patterns. In this case, we have a great many grasshoppers marching down the street. So it would take many different forms, and that would really be up to the participants to choose. We would have some sort of theme, and that will be finalized in the very near future. It will probably be using the river as a metaphor for bringing folks together, to travel together, thinking of the St. Croix as a culture shed in addition to being a watershed. And if I had more details on this, I would be happy to share it with you. We see this as some sort of pageant or parade in the park, late afternoon, early evening, culminating in some sort of event in the band shell. And that's about as much as we have at this point in time.
John, how many people do you anticipate participating in the event?
We would think up to 300 would be possible. Okay. It may be as small as 25, but we're hoping that it's closer to 250.
Okay.
Mr. Potter, have you actually submitted an application?
To the best of my knowledge, we did, yes.
Because I noticed your note here about a discussion of the possibility the city would waive the applicant fee.
That's correct.
Catherine, has been any conversation or any correspondence regarding that?
I think the application went to the Parks Department because it's not a, special assembly type process here.
We are on the Park Board's agenda for tomorrow's meeting.
Okay.
What's the parade routes?
I couldn't tell you at this point. It would probably be on the pathway of the park itself. So it's not a parade.
It's not going to be on the streets then? It's just going to be in the park?
in the park.
Correct.
Okay.
It would be on the pathways of the park. It's not a parade in the sense of a 4th of July
Right.
parade. You might want to think of it more as a pageant.
Okay.
So we'll be getting more details as you go through the park board
Definitely.
involvement.
And in fact, we're looking to the park board for guidance there as to how much they would be comfortable in having us use and how they might direct the route as well.
Looking for a motion to okay this event with contingent upon the park board's review and acceptance.
I'll move that we do approve the application contingent upon the usual committees' approval that are involved in coordination with EMS and our police department. We can have discussion about the application fee after, see if we get a second.
I'll second.
Further discussion?
Yeah, it should go to public safety as well. I know you said
Yeah.
committees, public safety should look at this as well in case we need additional police there or whatever the case may be.
Because of, in the discussion area here, because of the amount of time taken up on applications by our city staff, paid for by the taxpayers, I don't see how we can waive the application fee. The fee does not make money for the city. The city simply recoups some of the expense of handling these applications.
Now, this is not a typical special or a large assembly.
Right.
Oh, this is,
No,
okay,
this
so there's
is-
no
Less
way,
than
I
1,000
understood he
people.
said 300, but.
It's less than 1,000, correct, Catherine?
Yeah,
So
right.
the form, this is just the standard
to the
form that
park.
you or I would use to reserve the
Okay, then
park.
no need for
I mean,
discussion.
it could still go to the committees, but it's not the same process as we would use
Sure.
for
Right.
the.
The part, refresh my memory, the fee is $25 then, or?
I don't know what the
know. I
park,
think
it's the
is-
park sets up the fee, park board. I mean,
Well, that's
Paul?
the fee for the use of the
I
property.
think it's larger than that, but then there is I believe if everything is returned to its
security
condition when it's done,
deposit.
then there's so much of it goes back.
I mean, the events we've had applications for have been big, so we've had the bigger fee. I don't remember.
Even for
It's
example, at
nominal.
Prospect Park or any of those parks, I believe there's a fee and then part of it is refundable once
Well,
returned in condition.
I would say that we should follow the usual process.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
leave staff and park department determine that.
It's a nominal fee.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
Thank you.
Let's go to D, proposal of West Wisconsin Land Trust Incorporated regarding a possible land purchase. Al, you did request that
Yeah.
we put this on the agenda, and it's been a little bit confusing because we've been dickering with the government center to consider sale of that property or property in the adjoining area. And so that's all I know about it, but you were on the copy list.
Sure, and I talked with Richard, the director of the Western Wisconsin Land Trust, and he is talking the fact that they would be interested in acquiring that land and giving the land to the city. And I guess what I'd like to do is have some sort of an ad hoc committee set up to review and negotiate or talk to them, and then bring it back to the council if that's what the council desires, or that you would.
Well, I think
is
that's a
an
good
appropriate
idea. Chances are you should have some of the park board members
Right.
involved with that, so if they do donate that to the park system, at least we know what we're getting and what involvement it is. Because I understand that the Wisconsin Land Trust do have some restrictions on what you can do with that property once they give it to the city.
I think, again, I'm not an expert at that, but it has to have a public use. It has to be open to the public.
Al, did Rick say how much acreage would be involved, or the size of the plot?
I think he's been talking with the director of the land for the county, and I think he's talked with also Buck Malik about, I guess, that all that county land that they have, other than the portion they'd like to keep for future expansion.
Denny, have you heard anything about this particular proposal?
I've only seen one email. I think Jack, you were probably copied with that also, expressing interest between the land trust and the county about this potential. Again, I think Al's idea is good. I'd be pleased to join that ad hoc committee. But I believe the area that they're talking about is 16, 17 acres in the northwest corner. Is essentially the area that they're north of the YMCA and west of the county government center. That general area, maybe not immediately north of the Y, but that general area is what I've understood was being reviewed.
Well, I think we should probably ask the new mayor and the new people that are coming on the council to pursue this in their first meeting so that they can get this on the agenda and make some decision on it.
Okay.
Al, did you talk to Mr. Malik?
I did not. I know that Rich has talked to him.
Okay.
And apparently the county is still interested in selling the land.
Well, let's keep it on the agenda
Okay.
for future meetings, and they can take the appropriate action, and you'll remind them to move in that direction. Let's go to G, consider removal of a 10-minute parking spaces on 2nd Street at Commercial and in the Harbor parking lot.
This is an item that I asked to be on the agenda for tonight, and our new police chief and I discussed it. Marty, do you want to say anything about this, or should I just carry it from here? Or? Well, it's just a bit of housekeeping. We have 2 10-minute only parking spaces in the areas that you just mentioned, Mr. Mayor, that were there to serve businesses that no longer exist there in those locations. So my motion is to remove the 10-minute parking space signs, cap those stanchions off once again with a meter that will bring in revenue for parking.
Second. Okay. Any further discussion or comments or questions?
Well, the only question is does this have to go to public safety first, since they're a parking, establishment?
I don't think it would, but
the parking commission.
I understand Paul's point, but I would say that in this case we're talking 2 spots that I think we all understand the issue here, and it's not setting a new policy or anything like that. I think this is basically kind of just cleaning this up.
And I'm okay with it. I just didn't know if we had to.
I don't think
you
can decide
first.
whether you think it needs committee review.
It comes to this body anyway for approval. So
right, and you're basically undoing what. I mean, there was a reason for the signs.
See, I'm not going to be here anymore. I'd say let's just do it. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. We aren't going to have a closed session. The communications and recommendations of the mayor. This is my last meeting. I want to sincerely thank each and every one member of the council for all of the cooperation that we've had, all of the foresight that you've had, and to look at the records that you've acclaimed over the last few years in keeping the taxes low and looking at what we're going to do with additions to the city. I think you were very strict and very good about annexations and the future of Hudson. And quite frankly, you made us take a look at annexations and what it would do for the city, what it would do for our taxpayers. I think that you've done an outstanding job in making sure that this growth area has been handled properly by yourself. I also want to thank the staff here because they've made my job so easy. I didn't want to admit that until I was leaving, but quite frankly, they are very, very competent. I am so proud of them and the job that they have done, and I can't say enough for how they've handled this city and also how you've handled it. I appreciate very much what you've done for the city in dedication, allegiance, and the result speaks for themselves. So I thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Okay. Communications and items for future agendas that I won't have to handle. Any altar person?
Yes, I've got one. On Thursday evening, the Facilities Committee, our ad hoc committee, is going to have a tour of 3 different facilities that we're reviewing. So those people who would like to come and kind of go through the facilities are welcome to do so.
That is still basically a blue ribbon committee of one, correct?
That is
Meaning
correct.
yourself, you're calling the staff to get together to kind of look at
Right. The chief said last Thursday we met and just talked about what are the issues in each of the departments.
Depending on who is going to attend that, you may or may not have to announce.
We're going to post it.
We're going to post
that
so
particular
6 o'clock,
meeting.
which is the first?
We're going to meet here.
Okay.
I thought you did an excellent job the other evening. It was under some duress because Channel 5 was here. They seemed satisfied and didn't grab anything on the way and didn't pursue it. I thought that each one of the presenters, EMS, Fire Department, and Police Department, did an excellent job in bringing forth the pluses and the minuses of their particular needs. And I think it was well accepted by everybody that was there, including Channel 5, and I thank you for doing a great job there.
Thank you, sir.
City Attorney.
Nothing for a future agenda, but just want to express my thanks and appreciation for the opportunity to work with you.
We did have a lot of good times. City Administrator.
I'd echo that on behalf of the staff. You will be missed, but we look forward to the new mayor and the new council.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure we'll be seeing you.
Good. All right. Need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Thank you very much.
Thank you.